Yo, what's up guys? Joe here, hope all is well. Welcome to the RTX 4060 final full build guide here on the channel. That's $1,000 and is future-proof. And what I mean by future-proof is that if you want to upgrade your components of this build down the line, you will have a lot of options to do so. Because we're on a modern chipset, we went with AM5, and other components we've picked, such as our power supply, will allow for future upgrades of our graphics card as well. So that's what I mean by future-proof. Anyways, if you're new to the channel, we're gonna first go over all the parts as we build this PC from start to finish. Then at the end, we're gonna put this build to the test against a bunch of different titles at 1080p resolution. I wanted to showcase a monitor that I would personally pair with a system like this. So we're gonna be unboxing that together, and that's what we're gonna be doing the test on. Anyways, guys, it's gonna be a lot of fun, a sweet little $1,000 build. Let's jump into it. Let's begin the final RTX 4060 build. For our CPU of choice, we're going with the Ryzen 5 7600. The 7600 is going to get us into the AM5 platform at not too much money. We're not breaking the bank with this one. This CPU performs really well, and because we're on AM5, you're going to have tons of choices of CPUs to upgrade in the future. With past RTX 4060 builds, we paired them on older CPU sockets, but this one I wanted to be future-proof. So the 7600 is a 6-core processor. It clocks all the way up to 5.1 gigahertz, and it does come included with a stock cooler, so we don't have to purchase an additional one. Saving bucks right there as well. The motherboard we chose to go with the trusty ASUS B650 Plus Wi-Fi. This motherboard is the ATX form factor. We're using this board in a lot of recent build guides. For a good reason. This motherboard checks all the boxes. It gives us 2 M.2 slots, 7 USB ports, 1 Type-C port, the built-in Wi-Fi, and yeah, it's just gonna match our color theme as well, because we are gonna have a black and gray color theme for this build. Inside the box, you wanna get out the I/O shield, and this bag with screws and standoffs for our M.2 SSD. If you're gonna be using Wi-Fi, your Wi-Fi antenna. Alright guys, so let's take a close look at our CPU. You're going to wanna find a golden arrow. It's located on the top left side of our CPU. And then if we look at the CPU socket on the motherboard, there's gonna be an arrow on the top left. So now we get the lever, pull it to the side, lift it all the way up, lift this up, and you're gonna line up the arrow of the CPU with the arrow on the CPU socket. So we're gonna hover over our CPU and drop it into the socket, just like that. You can give it a little wiggle, it's nice and secure. You don't want to ever push down a CPU into the socket because you can bend the pins on the socket, or with older CPUs, you can bend the pins on the CPU. Simply hover it over and drop it right into place. Just like that, a little wiggle, it's in. Now we're gonna return this to its original position, and this lever is going to secure our CPU. When you push this down, you're gonna feel tension. If it's your first time, you may feel like, oh, I'm gonna break it. That's what I thought when I was building my first PC. But no, this is normal. We need this tension to secure our CPU and tuck it right into its original position. And this thing comes right off. Now it's time to install the stock AMD heatsink. Very simple. We're simply gonna unscrew these 4 screws to remove these 2 attachments. I'm using a normal P1 screwdriver. Now let's get our cooler out. And you're gonna see the pre-applied thermal paste on the back of it. Now we line up the 4 points of our heatsink with the 4 points on the motherboard. I'm going to have our AMD text on the left side right here. And I like to look under here as I'm laying it down so I can line it down on the 4 points. And there we go. Now we're gonna secure the heatsink in an X pattern. So a little bit on this side, a little bit on the side across. So we do this to secure the CPU with even pressure. If you screw one side too much right off the bat, then the other side's gonna be a lot harder to screw in because it's gonna be lifting up. You don't want that. We wanna screw it down the easy way and with even pressure. So a little bit on this side and the side across, a little bit on this side. That one was done already. So we're just gonna finish it off now. Your screwdriver is simply gonna stop. There's a safety, you can't over tighten this. There we go. Once your screwdriver stops turning, that's when you know you've secured it all the way. Now we connect the fan of the heatsink to the motherboard. We're gonna connect it right here. They're labeled on our board with text as well. The top one is the AIO pump, the bottom one is a CPU fan. So we're gonna hook it in, and done. Our CPU and cooler are installed. Now it's time to get out our RAM. We went with a G.SKILL kit. The Flare X5. This is a 32GB kit at 6000 megahertz. AMD EXPO ready. This RAM is CL30. We're gonna put our G.SKILL RAM sticks into the 2nd and 4th RAM slot so we could run in dual channel. Pull back the levers of the 2nd and 4th slot. Now we wanna line up the point of the RAM that's indented with the part on the RAM slot that's not indented. So we're gonna get the RAM right into place and then push down with both thumbs equal force. Your RAM will go down. Make sure you push it down all the way and this lever will lift back up. Same thing for the second stick. We're gonna put it into the fourth RAM slot, get it in there, push down both thumbs, equal force. All the way in, and it should look like that, guys. Make sure the sticks go all the way in. For our storage, we're going with a crucial 1TB M.2 SSD. This is the P310. It's a Gen 4 M.2, and it has a 71 megabytes per second read. It's gonna load up our OS and our games really fast. Every single part used in this build will be linked in the video description, and we're gonna put this little guy into here. First, we need to remove the heatsink. For this, I'm using the smaller screwdriver, a P0. Get our heatsink out of the way. Now remember the bag we got out earlier with the standoff and screws. We're gonna screw one standoff into this point right here. There's 3, so we're screwing it into the first one. We're screwing it down with our fingers all the way. Now we're going to get our M.2 into here, line it up, and simply just push it in. And then we're gonna let it rest onto the standoff and secure it with the screw. Now when we reapply the heatsink, make sure to remove the protective film in the back. Our SSD is installed. Now we went ahead and just blew by that really fast. We're ready to put our motherboard inside our case now. We're gonna be using a Corsair case. This is the 3000D Airflow. This is a beautiful ATX form factor case, very minimal and easy to build in. And here it is. This is the ARGB version, so it does come installed with 3 ARGB fans in the front. It doesn't have an exhaust fan, so we did purchase an additional 120mm black Arctic fan to throw back here. This fan was about $8 give or take. I'll throw the price up on the screen. Back panel off. You're gonna be able to see the lighting of the fans in the front, and it has a lot of airflow. The front panel does come off. Hold it from the bottom and pull out, and there we go. The dust filter is already installed in part of the panel. It's one piece. Up here on top of the case, power button, 2 USB ports, reset switch, microphone, and headphone jack. Now let's turn it around and get out one of the hard drive cages with the accessories we need, screws and everything. Little instruction manual. We're not gonna be using hard drives, so I'm gonna unscrew these 2 screws inside of here to remove the hard drive cage. And here are all the case cables, and all the fans do come wired together already in a daisy chain system. Cable management in this build is gonna be very clean. Beautiful case, nice black finish, nice paint job on this case. So first thing we want to do, let's get our I/O shield, and we need to clip it to the back of the case through the inside. Make sure the 3 circles are on the bottom and clip in all 4 sides. All right. So now when you install your motherboard inside of your case, you want to make sure that all the points of the motherboard line up with motherboard standoffs inside of the case. So our motherboard here is the ATX form factor, and all the standoffs inside our case are already in the ATX layout, so we don't need to add or remove any standoffs. We're good to go. So I just hold it from the heatsink, and first we want to line up the motherboard back here with the I/O shield, make sure all the ports line up good. And then we lay our motherboard down onto the standoffs, and we line up the motherboard with the standoffs, and there we go. So now we're gonna secure it with 9 screws. I'll show you guys how it looks. So we're gonna be using this little screw right here, guys. Using a regular P1 screwdriver, we're gonna go ahead and secure all 9 points and review at the end. I'm new to the electric screwdrivers. I never used them. Barely started using them in the last build. They make building the PC so much quicker. If you're interested in the electric screwdriver, I'll link it in the video description. But we secured 3 on the top, here, 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 all circled red, 3 in the middle, here, here, and here, and 3 on the bottom. Here, here, and here. And now we're gonna get our power supply in there. We went with a gold rated 750 watt power supply. This is a Thermaltake Tower Tough GF-A3 750. Now for an RTX 4060 graphics card, you can use a 650 watt power split. So this is a little bit more than what we need, but the reason why I picked this is because I want our build to be future proof. A 750 watt power supply is just gonna give you so much more flexibility to upgrade in the future. You're gonna be able to put way beefier cards. You're gonna have a lot more choices of graphics cards if you just go with a higher watt power supply right off the bat. Now time to prep the power supply. Power cable and the screws. First cable we're connecting is a big 24-pin power cable. It's the widest one. One of the ends is split into 2. This is the end that we're gonna hook up to the power supply. So right here where it says 24-pin ATX. Line it up straight and make sure you push this in all the way. Same thing for the other one. All right, that's our 24-pin. Next is our CPU power cable. It's labeled CPU, and the end that has 2, that goes to the motherboard. We want the single side. That's gonna go to our power supply. So right here where it's labeled CPU, get it in, plug it in all the way down, make sure it clips. This is our PCIe cable. It's labeled right here. This is to power our graphics card. And again, the side that only has 1 connector is the one going into the power supply. we'll plug it in right here. CPU/6+2 PCIe. So you can plug a CPU or a graphics card power cable into this one. Doesn't matter. And there we go. Go ahead and store these away for your future upgrades. We're gonna put our power supply right here underneath our case. Make sure the fan of the power supply is facing down so it could suck in cool air from the bottom of the case, and then here's the exhaust. So we're gonna slide it in, fan facing down. I was secure with the 4 screws that it came with. Now we're ready to start hooking up our cables, but first I'm gonna install our extensions in the black and gray colorway. So these cables are gonna be on display in the front of our build instead of these stock power supply cables. Now this is totally optional, only for aesthetics, so if you choose not to use these, you can go ahead and skip ahead. But we're gonna be hooking up the big 24-pin cable, but originally our 24-pin cable would have hooked up to our motherboard, so instead it's going to hook up to our extension cable. Make sure it goes in all the way in clips, and now this end will connect to the motherboard instead and be on display in the front of the build, and it's gonna look so much better than this. We're gonna hook up 2 more, one for our CPU power cable and one for our graphics card power cable. So starting with our CPU, you're gonna see that the CPU cable, it's an 8-pin cable that splits into 4+4. You can slide this off and separate it. That's how you know it's a CPU power cable. So then you're gonna look at the extensions and find an 8-pin cable that also splits like that. And then you're gonna hook up the other end of that, the one that's all together, to the CPU power cable. Make sure it goes in all the way. Now for our graphics card power cable, the PCIe, that's also an 8-pin, but it splits into 6+2. So we're gonna get that together, and then we're gonna hook it up to an 8-pin power cable that also splits into 6+2 and plug it in all the way until it clips. Now let's hook up our cables. We break down our cables into 3 groups. The first group of cables is all our case cables from our case that connect the power button, the USB ports, the headphone and mic jack to the motherboard. The second group of cables is all our fans and our lighting of our build. And the third and final group of cables is our power cables from our power supply that are gonna power things. First, we're gonna undo all the metal ties. These metal ties have metal in them. They could touch something in your build and short it. That's not good. So get rid of all these metal ties. First group of cables, our case cables. We're gonna wire our audio cable, it's labeled, through the bottom of our case right here. This cable is going to hook up on the far left side of our motherboard, right here into these pins. It only goes in one way with the audio text facing up. Line it up straight and push it all the way in. With the audio text facing up, it should look like that. That connected the headphone and audio jack of our case to our motherboard. Next is our JFP1 cables. We're gonna wire this through the bottom of our case right here. These cables hook up right here on the left side of these pins. I'm gonna throw the JFP1 chart up on the screen to help us out. First, our power LED cable. The plus is positive, minus negative. It's labeled right there for us. So that's gonna plug into our 1 and 2 pins with positive on the left. And it should look like that all the way to the left, guys. That's where the chart starts. Now our reset switch, positive and negative doesn't matter anymore. So it's the 3rd and 4th pins on the 2nd row of pins. There we go, should look like that. And now for our final cable, the power switch, it doesn't matter for positive and negative as well, and that hooks up right on top of reset switch into the 3rd and 4th pins. So line them straight and push it in all the way. And there we go, that's our JFP1. We just hooked up the power button of the case and the reset switch of the case to the motherboard. Now our final cable is our USB 3 cable. We're gonna wire this through the side of the case right here. If you take a close look at the cable, there's a hump on one of the sides. We're gonna line up this hump right here on the right side of our input where there's an opening for the hump. So there's pins inside of here, so you wanna just line it up straight and then push all the way in. And it should look just like that. Now moving on to our second group of cables, our fans and our lighting. So first I'm gonna install our additional exhaust 120mm fan. Now guys, the way we put it in is important. You want to make sure you put it in a position where it's blowing all the hot air inside the case outside of the case. So we want to lay the side that doesn't have a sticker to the case. And then inside the case is going to be the side that has the sticker. It's going to sit just like that. But another way to tell is spin the fan. If you put your hand there, you don't feel air blowing towards you. Well, that's not the correct way. If I spin the fan the other way, put my hand here, then I feel more air blowing towards me. The third way to tell is the arrow on the fan. It's pointing this way, indicating that's the way the air is going to go. Blowing the air out of our case this way. So we're just gonna line it up. So now we just screw in all 4 sides. And then you can go ahead and pick the height that you want. I'm just gonna have it be all the way on the bottom. Now we're gonna wire the cable of the fan to the back side of the case right here, top left of the case. Now we're gonna hook up our fans to the motherboard. So the 3 fans that came included with the case, Here's the 3 cables for those. And then the one we just installed, here's this cable. So we have a total of 4 fan cables. We're gonna connect all the fans to one fan header on our motherboard. So we're gonna need a 1 to 4 fan splitter. I'll link the 4-way fan splitter in the video description. But in the studio right now, I only have a 1 to 3-way. So it's gonna be 1 to 4, not 1 to 3, guys. Anyways, you'll still be able to follow along. It's the same thing. So we're gonna hook up all the fans to the splitter. 1, 2, 3, and then pretend it's a 4-way splitter. 4, right? Pretend all the fans are hooked up to it. And now that all our case fans are connected to our splitter, we're gonna wire the splitter to the front of the case, and we're gonna be hooking it up to right here, chassis fan 2, fan header. And there we go. Now all our fans are hooked up to the motherboard through our fan splitter. Now for the lighting of our fans, our back one doesn't have any lighting, but our 3 front fans are ARGB fans, and they're already all hooked up together into a single cable. So we just need to hook up 1 cable for the lighting of the 3 fans. We're gonna wire this cable through the top middle of our case right here. This cable only goes in one way. It's a 3-pin ARGB cable. We're gonna line up the arrow on the cable to the 5-volt pin on our motherboard. Sometimes it'll just be labeled with a little arrow on it, just the letter V, or like us right here today, 5V. So line up the arrow to the 5V pin right here on the bottom. And there we go. Now we're gonna hook up our Creator ARGB kit. This has 2 ARGB strips that we're gonna be installing here and here. This is totally optional, but it will give an extra splash of light inside our build. They're ARGB strips, so you can have multiple colors on at once. They have more effects than regular RGB strips. You can pick these up on Amazon. Comes with a little sticker, the 2 strips, strong magnetic attachments, and then the cables we need. If you pick these up on Amazon and leave a 5-star review, you're supporting me a ton. And for that, I thank you very much. So the way we're gonna hook these up is we connect both of the strips together. It's a daisy chain system. Then we hook up the extension cable if you need it, and then the extension cable hooks up to the actual 3-pin ARGB lighting connector. This one right here, it's the same thing, it's a 3-pin. And we're gonna hook it up exactly like we just did the lighting of our 3 fans. We have a second 3-pin ARGB input up here. That's where we're gonna be hooking up our Creator strips. But first, let me get this secured inside the case with the magnetic attachments. And there we go, guys. Nice and clean installation. We have a strip right there on the side, and we have a strip right on top. Once you're done arranging your strips in your case, line up the arrow with the 5-volt pin right here on the bottom. And we'll have the instruction manual up on the screen. All right, done. Strips connected to our board. You can mount them however you want though. You can have it right here or right here. Real quick though, little side note. This is a chassis fan header, right? It's labeled. And then right here, there's another chassis fan input. It's labeled chassis fan 3 with text right there on the bottom. I know you guys can't see it, but this one right here, the 4-pin fan cable. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the splitter and connect it to that one instead, because right here it's going to be much cleaner. See right there, our fan splitter is more hidden. I'm going to be linking a better 4-way fan splitter too, guys, because look, that one has the ketchup and mustard cables there. So this is where we hooked up our JFP1 cables earlier. So yeah, it's just right there, right next to some more lighting inputs actually. Another 3-pin, and then here's a 4-pin RGB cable. Okay, now we've arrived to our third and final group of cables, our power cables. First cable, we will be connecting our big 24-pin one. We're gonna route this one through the side of our case right here, and it's going to connect here, guys. Now there's a clip on this cable right here. That clip needs to clip back here on the right side. So we're gonna line it up straight and then push in all the way. Make sure it goes all the way down and that it clips. It should look like that, guys, all the way in. Make sure you're getting a nice connection with all these cables. So next, our CPU power cable. Remember the 8-pin one that splits into 4+4. We're gonna wire this one through the top of our case right here. So we need to get this clip to clip on top right here. Line it up straight, push it in all the way. Make sure it clips in. And there we go, it should look like that. And we're done hooking up all our power cables. Now it's time to install our graphics card, the RTX 4060. 8GB of VRAM, OC edition. This is the ASUS Dual. Now the reason why I decided to do the final RTX 4060 build guide here on the channel is because I know that this card is still gonna be selling when the RTX 5060 drops, which is supposed to be in April is what people are saying. But how is the stock of the 5060 gonna be? I don't know, I'm really curious about that. We'll see how that goes. This is a very well-rounded system under the $1,000 price point that's future-proof. Let's get this guy installed. Very nice. Let's get the protective film off. So it has a nice little back plate. And this is a very tiny little card, especially since all the builds we've been doing recently, they're all big 2-fan graphics cards. All these new cards are huge. This is a cool looking card, guys. Looks dope. It's gonna give you 3 display ports and 1 HDMI port. We have to make room for our card by removing the 2nd and 3rd brackets. So second and 3rd slot removed. Pull the lever all the way back. And now, just like our RAM 6, we're gonna line up our graphics card straight. Once you have it lined up, push in all the way. Make sure it goes all the way down and that lever will clip back up. Now we go in and secure it. And there we go, our graphics card is secure. You don't need a GPU support for this, guys. This card doesn't weigh anything, so don't worry about GPU sag with a 2-fan card, really. Now we're gonna wire the power cable through the bottom middle of the case, right here. And again, we wanna get this to clip up here. So have it clip on top. There we go. Beautiful, guys. Well, we just need to organize our cables a little better how we want them. Like, I need to have this one sit up here nice. I'll do that later. We're done, guys. That's it. If you're following along, congratulations. You will not be disappointed with your build. Now the final touches, I'm gonna put the Funko Pop in, cable manage it back, and slap on the panels. We're about to go crazy at 1080p. I forgot to hit record. The cable management is done already. Very easy cable management in here though. Doesn't have to be perfect, guys. In reality, you just need to have the cables down enough for the panel to close. Mandalorian with Darksaber. Beautiful. Plug it in. First boot up.
Someone tell me
This build looks really clean, really high quality, a simple, minimal look. We're not compromising on the fun factor, aka performance. I'll make shorts on upgrading this PC. So I'll make a short on upgrading the CPU and the cooler. Well, all parts using this build will be linked in the video description. Support your boy by picking up the Creator ARGB strip kit. Add a nice splash of light inside your build. If you were following along and this was your first build, congrats, man. You're gonna love it. Be sure to turn on bell notifications to be alerted for future build guides. We've done a lot of build guides in the past covering all different budgets. So if you don't fancy this build, you will for sure find another build guide on the channel to meet your needs. All right, guys, well now time to have fun. But
Hey, listen up and listen up good. You're not ready to go just yet. You need to install Windows. Windows can be a pretty price, but not anymore. Thanks to FragItUp.shop, you'll be fragging it up in no time. Pick up Windows 11 Pro with an OEM activation key for only 25 bucks. Shipping from the US of A. Go pick it up right now at FragItUp.shop. That's an order, soldier! Now you will need to watch this video. Here you will learn how to install Windows and all drivers for your new rig, plus some other important tips as well. The video will be linked in the description. What are you waiting for? Get back out there, soldier!
so this is by the brand KTC, 24.5-inch 1080p 400Hz monitor. So that was really tempting. Let's see if it's too good to be true. I've never used this monitor before, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you know how it goes, how my experience is with it. Let's get it open though. I didn't want to test out this build with my normal 1440p monitor. I wanted to go ahead and use a monitor that I would use with this specific build. And this is what I would go with, a 1080p panel, obviously with high refresh rate. And here it is, not bad. The back is all silver. It has 2 HDMI and 2 display ports. Simple minimalistic monitor, very thin bezels on the side. And it doesn't weigh a lot, guys. And it does come with a DisplayPort cable for you. The 400Hz has to be through the display cable. Pretty sure it doesn't work through HDMI for this monitor. All right, let's hook this thing up and let's test out the games. I have a feeling it's gonna be a good monitor though. Watch, we're gonna click a bunch of heads right now. I don't know why this is grayed out, so I don't know if this is on or off. For our upscaling, we're gonna be using fidelity. It's set to the default 50, but we're still running the game at native 1080p resolution, guys. This is not upscaling. We're not gonna be using Nvidia DLSS or Nvidia DLAA. I heard your guys' comments. We're doing native res, and then this stuff is obviously off because we don't have that on. And then here are the rest of the settings. I'm still in it, boys! Oh, crap.
Yeah, don't land that by it, bro. Go top.
Oh! Bro, we just totally murked that kid. Fuck! Damn, they're going over there. Oh, gun. There we go, baby. Got two of them right there. That's how we do it, baby. Dream team, baby. What? Another very close game. That sucks to see. Oh, all right. We won this one. They're gonna bring it home. They have to. Heck yeah. Good job, guys. Max FOV aspect ratio is on 16:10. 1080p, obviously, and then here's the settings. Oh, I'm too fast. Ah, you got tapped. Come on, I want to shank you. Please. Oh, we're gonna lose. Oh crap, there's definitely someone right here.
Can you grab me?
Yeah, I'm coming. Oh, I almost died for you, boy. Fuck! We won! We are victorious. 1080p resolution on performance mode, and we have everything set to the highest. Those guys did not stand a strong chance. That guy almost killed us, bro. Bro, Master Chief! Fucking idiot! Oh my god, I'm so pissed. 1080 max FOV. Alright guys, I've been enjoying the games that we played so far. All those were AMD EXPO, which makes our RAM then run at its highest speed. But I'm not liking these temps. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna recommend you guys don't even turn on EXPO for this build. You can run your CPU at 90, but I just don't like that. Like, it's a high temp. If you guys just don't go into the BIOS and don't do anything, then you don't have to worry. Your temps are gonna be low. They're gonna be good. I am going to make a video on upgrading this PC with AIO cooler. We are gonna do that, and then we are going to turn on AMD EXPO, and we will see how much cooler our CPU runs with an AIO versus the stock cooler. When you first set up your PC, this is always disabled. I went ahead and enabled it as always to get my RAM to run at its rated speed. So now we're gonna go down from 6,000 to 4,800, and then save and exit. So we're just running a default, what it would run at if you guys didn't change any settings. All right, guys, look at that. We're back in the 85s, what we like to see. Nice. Oh, we're about to die. Bro, do we have any more heat shields? He's not gonna make it. Damn, man, we were close. We put it on the medium graphics settings preset. I changed a couple settings so then it switches it to custom. So I'll go over that. So the settings we changed for the medium preset is we put DLSS on the transformer model. Frame generation is off. We don't want that. FOVs to the max. And then the rest is the medium settings preset. We do have Nvidia Reflex on plus boost to just have that quick responsive gameplay. Oh my goodness, I almost died right there. Let's rush this person. That person just naded themselves. Whoa. Oh man, 90 FOV, 1080p, mix of high, medium, and ultra settings. Ooh, we're at 99% GPU utilization. Dude. Mess with the wrong motherfucker. Give me my ball, boy. Give me the ball, man. 1080p, 400 hertz monitor, baby. About to be super smooth. Reflex on enabled plus boost.
Bruh.
What up? Oh shit.
He's low, he's low.
Shot. Ooh, blood. Damn. Good job.
One speed.
Oh my god, he just came up behind him. Oh, I don't even have to do anything.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
One pass to B. He might be passing.
Sit down, boy. Did I just hear another one? Gotta be fast. Why do they... Oh, I could have killed him if I wouldn't have moved. We came back, we redeemed ourselves. Running Valorant at native 1080p, reflexes on plus boost. Here's the graphics quality.
Let me show you how to book.
Anyways, no surprise that performance is really good. This is the highest average FPS we're gonna get in all the games we're testing today. Revenge, revenge.
One kill remaining.
We're gonna be playing native 1080p. We don't have any of the DLSS on. I know you guys have been requesting that. Reflex is on and DLSS frame generation is off because that's gonna give us extra input delay. We don't want that. It's very smooth without it. And here's the settings.
Shield is halfway! Stop them!
Judge, jury, executioner!
Oh man, this is it. The final battle. And now the real finale.
Jury, executioner!
No!
60 seconds left.
That's it, we won. 1080p, max FOV 105. Graphic settings, a mix of ultra and medium. All this stuff is off. Reflex on plus boost.
Our forces are
I don't even know we're here.
Echo 1.
Boom, baby.
We just took an objective.
The environment's gonna change. Let's try to get the high ground. Later, boys. Oh my god, that's how you do it, guys. Oh crap, I got splattered.
We are
God, we almost got a clutch play right there.
Just defend them. It's over. This battle is won.
Native 1080p resolution. Nvidia DLSS is off. Here are the settings. Later, sucker. Oh crap. We have just enough VRAM, guys. We're using 7.3 gigabytes of VRAM, so we're good on that. Just enough, and there's no stutters or freezing either. We're all dead. We're on. 1080p, no resolution scaling, a mix of epic to medium settings. Full GPU utilization on our RTX 4060 though, we're at the very, very high 90s. Using a lot of RAM on the finals, 21 gigs of RAM. This guy's gonna kill me. Oh! Native 1080p, here are the graphic settings. Oh my god, no way, everyone's gonna drop here. That's cool though that they added a little blizzard to the game. I haven't played the battle royale mode of this game in like 5,000 years. I'm dead. Native 1080p resolution.
We gotta capture this. This is an objective. We have to capture it.
All right, let's do it. One down. Shoot, they got me. At native 1080p, anti-aliasing is set to DLAA. This makes the game look good. I like that one. And reflex on plus boost. For the graphic settings, we're set to the medium preset. This stuff right here is turned down. Whoa. All right, one shot to the head will do it. Wait, do we waste our ammo? How do I get in here? Oh, there we go. Oh, we gotta loot these guys. Do we have to kill everyone? Because we don't have any ammo. I think we do. Oh my god, that's horrible. Okay, so we gotta dodge and hit these guys. Oh my goodness, we're so... Guys, we need to get out of here. We're gonna die for sure. Oh my... We're out of ammo. We're screwed. Oh my goodness. Go, 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 go. All right, The Last of Us Part 2, guys. Big success. We're gonna call it right here. Average FPS 98. Closing thoughts. This is a good system, but I do not recommend you turn on EXPO because the temps get too high for my liking on our Ryzen 5 7600 with that stock cooler. I am going to be making a video where we upgrade this PC with an AIO cooler and then see how much our temps improve. Also, if you're interested in going with the AIO cooler right off the bat and not using the stock cooler, I'll go ahead and link a recommendation in the description. Thanks for watching this video to the end. And that's a wrap, guys. All parts used for this build will be linked in the video description. Make sure you turn on bell notifications so you can be alerted for next week's build. I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Sisters like me.